All right, so we are going to look at our last little tiny thing here, which is some mirror symmetries in our freeform modeling. And so the first thing we do, like we've done before, is we're going to enter the sculpt environment and we're going to go create. And I think I'm just going to choose a box here. And that's good. I'm going to just put the box in the planes. We'll have a center point and I don't know. I'm going to make it a little bit longer than it is wide, like that. And let's see, height faces is okay. I'm going to change length faces to 4. And we're going to change width faces to 4 as well. And we're only doing this so that some of the modeling tools are going to kind of make sense. If you don't have enough faces, then you're not going to get a chance to see some of the symmetries involved. Now, whenever you're making an object, you always want to have in mind sort of what it's going to look like, okay, as a finished product. And one of the ways that your modeling will become simpler is if we can impose what are called symmetries on it. So for example, if you want this corner to always look like this corner, and you want this face to have the same curvature as this face, then you might want to impose symmetry around this middle part right here. And then all you have to do is shape this face, and then these two will automatically look like these two. All right, so for example, we can go to symmetry here, and we can have mirror symmetry. And then because this object is, three-dimensional, you have a length, a width, and a height. So for example, we have height symmetry, and you'll see this green line went on. And what a height symmetry is that if I make a change on the top, it's automatically also made in the identical spot on the bottom. And so if I slice my object through the middle along this green line, I'll find my two halves are identical, all right, even though I've made a change on the top somewhere. So if I take this face and pull it up, this face on the opposite side is going to pull down and have the exact same shape. All right. My width symmetry means that everything along this green line to the left of it is, if I make a change, will be reflected and made on the right side. And if I have a length symmetry, it's the same thing, but between this side and this side. Now, to give you an idea, I'm going to keep these two symmetries on here, all right, my length and my width, and I'll show you how they work. All right, so we're going to press OK now, like so, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And let's see here. So let's go to Edit Form, and I'm going to select on this face, and automatically you can see that because I selected on this face, across my mirror here, I have this face selected, and across this mirror, I have this face selected, and then across this mirror and across this mirror, I have this corner selected. All right. So for every face you select, you're really changing 4. So let's go off and change this, and lo and behold, look at that. All right, automatically my one change here is reflected in all these 4 corners here. All right, so let's say we do that, and now let's spread it out, and there we go. I'm not even really sure again what this is. We're just kind of playing around with this, so that looks cool. So let's press OK, and I don't know, let's look at it from the right side, and now let's flip it over like that. All right, and then look at it from the corner. So for example, if you're making some kind of crazy looking Art Nouveau stand or something like this, perhaps and you want to keep it like this. Now I click off of here to unselect that face, and let's say that we go with that motif where we are going to make a stand of some kind. And so these are the legs of the stand I just made. And because of symmetry, by the way, you know that my stand, if it's printed out perfectly, is just going to stay there. It'll be completely level, which is kind of cool. But we're going to go back to Edit Form, and I'm going to click on this face and this face together. All right, so what I did is I did a multiple select, and I am going to move the object outwards like this. All right, like so. And let's zoom out here. And I think we should probably choose this face and this face and this face now and pull it outwards. So now that I chose these two faces and pulled it out, this is reflected here. So now let's click off. And so that's part of my table. And just to show you what happened there, let's look at it from the right and from the top and from the side. All right, so albeit when you're looking at it from a corner or something like that, it doesn't necessarily look even. I can guarantee that it is. So next, let's stretch our table out this way, or our stand. So we go back into Edit Form, and we're going to click here, hold down Shift and click here, and then we're going to pull outwards again, like that. There we go, and click off, and then all of a sudden I have, a cool little Art Nouveau table of some kind. All right. Now, what I can tell you about this is that this edge here is probably a little bit too sharp to accurately print out and be strong. So we might need to make it a little bit thicker. And to do that, let's see what we can do here. So probably when I go to Edit Form here, let's go to Edit Form, and what do you say we select and select and select and select. And because of mirror symmetry, of course, I've just selected everything. And let's look at the table from the side, and we're going to take this edge here, I'm going to push up now, and what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to make these edges just a touch less sharp, okay, and I think we're good. All right, so I'll click off, and now I have a table of some kind. Now, what I can also tell you is that this table, even for our Tinkerine 3D printers, is absolutely huge. Okay, here we have almost a 2 foot by 2 foot square. All right, this is almost 60 by 60 centimeters. In fact, it's probably yeah, let's go with 50 by 50 centimeters or so. So, just under 2 feet. So, we're really not going to be 3D printing this thing out, but, it does give you a chance to kind of practice your modeling and stuff. And let's say you did want to print out a little tiny version of this. What could you do? Well, what do you say we select the whole thing, and we go into Modify, and there should be a scale tool in here somewhere. If not, we can do it in the modeling. Yeah, utilities, sketch. Yeah, it's actually looking like there isn't one here. So what do you say we're finished? All right, and if we're finished, then let's go to Finish Form now. And this plops us right into the modeling environment now. So let's just get an idea for what this looks like, because our tabletop looks pretty flat, and we have some faces here. So it's kind of cool, actually. Even though our table was made up of some really complicated pieces and has some really cool curvature in it, it looks to me like it's patched together out of 5 faces, which is really cool. There's 4 on the bottom here. 5, I should say. 5 on the bottom here, and then the tabletop is a 6th face. So our object is actually pretty cool. Now, I said that we should shrink this down so it's at least in printable size. So why don't we do that? So for example here, this is the largest face, which is this. So let us go into the Modify menu, and we go to Scale, and we want to select this entity right here, the whole body. And it's looking like we really have to shrink this down. So let's go to 0.75. And we can already tell that 0.75 is still way too big, because to print this out on the Lulzbot, we have to make it the size of one of these squares. And to print it out on the Tinkerines, it can only be maybe 1 1/3 of these squares. So we really got to shrink this thing down. So let's go to half size. And we're getting close. Let's go to 1/3 size. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Let's go to 1 3/10, and just for good luck, let's go to 1/4 size, like so. And I'm going to press Return, and let's go now to the top of our table, like so, and let's zoom in a touch. And again, really, I managed to do all of this by just taking a chunk, a model that looked like a bar of soap or something, and we created a whole table out of it really simply. Okay, so that's our object, and because now our tabletop, let's just move it so we can confirm. Our tabletop here is under that whole 14 by 14 centimeter selection, like this, I can now print it out. So if I wanted to take this object and print it out in the printer, we can just, we're going to go up into, come on, File, 3D Print. We're going to unselect our Send to 3D Print utility. We're on our high refinement here. And now all I have to do is select our object. Probably going to be made up of a rather sizable number of triangles. Yep, at least 160,000 of them. We'll press OK here. And we're going to call this table. And all of a sudden, that's done. And then we can just sort of shrink this down for a second. And we can go into here. And we'll go into, for me, it's Control, click, and Open Preview, though you can do it in anything else you want. And there we go. So there's our object. Almost looks like one of those hats that university students wear on graduation or something like that, right? And like I say, because of symmetry, it'll turn out that these legs will all sit down exactly, kind of thing. So that's cool. And it's now the size where you can 3D print out and stuff. Okay, so that's pretty cool.